Hi, I'm Erin Pearlman, and you're listening to the Podlemania Photography and Video Podcast with hosts Wayne Johns and Jake Hicks, a pair of top blokes.
Well, mate. Well, Jake, what do I say to that, man? Different intro to the show.
Is it? That's my new ringtone sorted.
Yeah, true. Nice touch, yeah. But we thought we'd just do a little bit different this time in the show, didn't we? And people are going to hear us talking for over an hour as it is. So why not give them something a bit sweeter to listen to at the beginning rather than my voice in like 45 episodes? It's like...
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I like it.
And for people listening, they won't know this, but that's recorded live in this episode. It's not pre-recorded. So Erin has done an amazing job in one hit. One hit, guys. One take.
Professional.
And as we know, some people think that when I do the intros, people think that they are pre-recorded and we drop them in. But they're not, are they? They're live every single show, aren't they?
First go.
First go. Every time.
Every time.
45 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
No pressure, Wayne, but...
Yeah, no pressure. And
flawless record.
In all fairness, mate, my voice does not sound as upbeat, happy, or as enthusiastic and full of energy like Erin's just did.
You know, it's different. There's nothing wrong with being different, Wayne. Yeah,
I've been told that a lot over the years.
Unique snowflake. I think that's
a lot of people have told me it's nice to be different, mate. It's strange that coincidence.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Your mum especially, bless her.
Yeah, day after day after day. Good old mum. Made me feel so special. Well, mate, in all fairness, we've got a bit of a heat wave over here. And let me just take that back. By heat wave, I mean the weather's changed, the sun's come out in the UK.
It's not raining.
Change,
Yeah.
Spring has just come and already people are in shorts, t-shirts, vest tops.
I'll tell you
what. The good old British public, as soon as a bit of sun is out, mate, they're stripping off down to the least they can wear. Apart from Jake, of course, who's still wearing a jumper indoors.
Later on, but yeah.
Open the curtains. Let some daylight in, let alone sunlight. Your curtains, I notice, have got a safety warning on them for when you open them in sunlight, haven't you? So you don't burn your skin because,
Yeah, my frail British skin.
By the time you open your curtains, it's already at peak time of the day, isn't it, mate? The sun's high in the sky, and that's damn hard light.
I like to give everybody else a head start, Wayne. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, personally.
I think that's really generous of you, mate. You're so kind. You're so kind.
Give them a chance at a bite of the apple, as they say.
Mate, beautiful. Generous chap that you are. Well, following on from the last episode, some good news. Your current 2 workshops that you've got out are all sold out.
Yeah, well, actually, we just got 1 spot left, but yeah. So that is good. Yeah, we are on the projector one, so that's good. Yeah, absolutely amazing news. Yeah.
Banging. First workshops after COVID, mate. That is amazing. Well done.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So it looks like some people are brave enough to go outside once again. Yeah, we shall see.
Oh, I thought you meant some people are brave enough to come to your workshops, but I couldn't agree with you more, mate. Wow. No, I think that's awesome. And for obviously people listening to this now, it's already too late. The workshop's sold out because obviously this is not going to come out for a couple of weeks yet.
Oh, wow.
But don't worry about it, folks. Don't worry. Jake may have sold these 2 out, but there's more coming. So you can just book on the next one.
They're in there. Yeah, they're in the diary.
They're in there.
June. Yeah. So there's there is more opportunities ahead.
Yeah. And if you get bored of that, you can book onto my workshops when I get my ass in gear and actually put them up and make them available. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
We're all holding our breath on that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm testing a new piece of kit at the moment, which I can't disclose because I'm under embargo with it. So,
is it camera or lighting?
Neither. But it is associated with the camera.
Is it to do with photography, though, Wayne?
It is related to photography, and it is a piece of photographic equipment. That's all I can say.
You can't even say whether it's a camera or, and it's not camera or lighting.
It's not lighting. I can say that much.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Who knows by the time this comes out? What was that? Sorry.
Nothing, mate. I'm sure it'll get cut out anyway. So.
Oh dear. It's fun. I'll let you know that much. There you go. That's all I'm giving up before I get my wrist slapped for being under embargo. Yeah. And swiftly moving on, he says. Mate, we've got a really interesting show today with an amazing person for what we can see, who's just full of energy. And I wish our guests could see her because she's beaming in front of us here now. A beautiful smile greeting us. Remember that word, Jake? Smile? Oh, there it is. Jake the crap one as well. Amazing.
Wow, Wade's coming out. He's got his little fangs out.
Blame the sun, mate. It's like supercharging my solar panels. It really is. No, a great episode. Erin Pearlman. I'm just going to go into my intro and description on this because this is going to be fun and we're really sort of jolly with it today because the sun's out. Let's get into this. So, folks, welcome to episode 45. And today we're talking with the lovely Erin Pearlman, who's a lifestyle, portrait, wedding, and food photographer based in New York. Now, Erin's a person with a lot of love to give and loves to empower everyone she captures by reminding them how special they are. She's a woman on a mission who's always searching for the light in both people and places. And she appreciates a little bit of quirkiness and people's innate ability to unapologetically be themselves. She's embarked on a very interesting project where she likes to photograph people in bed first thing in the morning. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more in the show. The topic, that is, not the bed, of course. And she admits that she asks too many questions. Well, today, folks, we're going to turn the tables on Erin Pearlman and we're going to fire our questions at her. Erin, welcome to the show.
Oh my, I'm blushing. I feel overwhelmed. This was really fun. Your voice is so soothing. Wow.
We get that almost every episode, don't we, mate? I'm now recording bedtime stories just to send them.
I was going to say that.
No.
I was going to say, no, because I struggle with insomnia. So I was literally going to say, like, can I fall asleep to your voice every night?
It's nice that you think it's that interesting.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry, Jake.
It's cool. That's cool. Everybody's, that's cool. That's cool. It's, I know when I'm not,
your voice
welcome.
Is lovely too.
Three's a crowd. That's cool. That's cool.
Well, it's nice that you find my voice so interesting. You want to fall asleep to it. That's amazing.
I was take that as you will, Wayne.
Too funny. Well, I feel really fortunate to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It really means a lot.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It really is. And for our listeners as well. I think this is just going to be a buzzing episode. It's going to be great. Now, Erin, first question we give all our guests, we go straight into it. For our audience, how would you describe yourself and what you do?
Ooh, how would I describe myself? Okay,
it's a tricky one again, Jake. It's a tricky one. Everyone gets.
It's a hard one.
Let's get these tough ones out of the way now, Erin. Yeah.
I think. Describe myself. What I do. Okay. I want to make it fun. I want. If I'm going to have an interaction with a human being, I want them to leave being like, my day's just a little bit better because I just talked to this random weird person. Do you know what I mean? So I guess in terms of how that translates into photography, it's kind of like capitalizing on someone's essence and sort of bringing out what's beautiful about them and reflecting it back in like a conversation and in a photograph and being like, hey, like you're worthy of love and connection and all the things. So whatever childhood trauma you have, just forget about that because right now you're fucking perfect. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like that.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a whole lot of energy. I love that approach.
It's a lot.
Whew.
It's a lot.
Well, I think let's wrap the show up, Jay. I mean, we can stop that. That's just a one question solo issue.
I wish that I could be the one interviewing you both because I'm more comfortable in that space. You know
same, yeah. That's why we're on this side. Yeah.
So the tables are turned today. You got that in the intro. Yeah, we're going to get nosy and ask lots of questions. And besides, I don't want you asking me questions. You'll fall asleep to my voice. It'll be.
But to those people listening, what sort of things do you photograph at the moment? I know Wayne's given us a broader overview, but what are your sort of things that you're shooting right now?
Yeah. The things that I'm shooting right now, I'm shooting weddings, obviously on a smaller scale. I'm shooting families. I'm shooting couples. I'm shooting portraits of people. I'm doing street photography. So it's all people, and in whatever form is. The mask makes it a little tricky sometimes because it's you can't be as disarming. You know what? They don't know what you look like. You just are some creep with a mask. It's like weird.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Have you found that?
I find out when I don't wear a mask. Actually, yeah, it's you know.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
On your website, for example, your business tagline is "I love love." So, I mean, like your bio is very open about your passion for finding that special something in everyone. But I mean, how does that translate, do you think, to your work?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I guess there's this notion of like love disarms people. Like, you know how you see, okay, here's a kind of maybe okay example. There's a man and he's wearing a suit and he's really buttoned up in every sense of the word, not only physically, but emotionally. It's like, does this person have feelings? And then their dog comes up to them and their dog just like showers them with all this love, like kisses all over their face. And you watch this like buttoned up, suited man just kind of like erupt in laughter and joy and fun. And that's love disarming a human being. And I am obsessed with that love. And that love doesn't have to, right? And it doesn't have to just be, it can be any kind of love. It doesn't have to be just romantic. It can be platonic. It can be whatever it is. It's like what's lighting someone up and making them be vulnerable. Like I'm kind of obsessed with that. So any picture that I take, it's kind of like that in-between moment where they're like, hold on, let me just like adjust. And it's like, no. Okay. Like you adjusting is what's like fun to me, So
nice.
Do you think that, when you're photographing these people, then you are looking for that happy dog to try and get that out of somebody then?
Yeah.
Always.
Yes, because I think it's a choice, right? It's like, as human beings, we are given gifts every day. To me, this is kind of an improv thing because I do improv, comedy improv when I'm not doing photography.
Okay, yeah.
But so I don't know how familiar you are with like, I don't even know what to call it other than improvisation that's comedic, but like people in a scene doing a thing and it's, off the top of their heads or whatever. Technically, when someone's speaking to you and they initiate a scene like, Dad, can you believe that Mom cheated on you or whatever? That's a gift. That's an offer. And so how do you play off of that to build it? If that makes, I know I'm kind of jumping around.
No, it's fine.
But so to me, everything is an offer. It's a gift. And so how do we then capitalize on that gift? Does that kind of...
Yeah, it makes sense. I just think it's a beautiful approach in the way to look at it and the way to approach your work. It's definitely different than most of us, I think, are doing in that respect and the way we think about it.
So how are you doing that on a wedding then? For example, are you just trying to are you trying to orchestrate it in some way? Are you trying to guide these interactions in some way? Or?
This is where it changes.
Fuck that. This is where I take so much issue with this industry.
Yeah.
I resent the industry on so many levels for this. Because it's not natural. Because there is something that's so ethereal, ephemeral, romantic, delightful about someone planning their whole wedding outside and then it starts pouring. And it's a beautiful opportunity because it says a lot about a human being depending on how they react to that rain.
True.
Some people are like, holy fucking shit. The day that I've envisioned
Cancel
for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm done. I will commit suicide. You know what I mean? Like they're over it. Alternatively, people are like, oh my God, it's good luck on a wedding day for rain to occur. Like, how can we make this fun? Like, can we get bubble umbrellas? Can we, whatever, how are we going to? So as a photographer, I'm all about rolling with it. Mm-hmm. It's this delicate combination of like, okay, what's happening and how do you adjust to what's happening while also uplifting and heightening the beauty of what's happening, as opposed to saying, oh, I'm going to take you away from your makeout and bring you into some random location and make you jump up and down and photograph your shoes and shit. Like, gross.
Are you choosing your clients?
It's disgusting.
Are you looking for a specific client, or are you like, you know what, I'll just photograph anybody and make the best of it, sort of thing? And
No. I think here's what I think. I think we can't be everything to everybody.
Sure.
Like there's just no way. How can we be successful at anything if we are trying to cater to the masses? That's gross. It's gross to me. I know that I'm being like hard about this, but
no, I agree with
but
you.
But I think there's something that's like, one thing that I love is this notion of protecting the unusual thing. So that applies to so many aspects of our lives. Like, I guess I'll turn the question back for just 1 second. What's something that's unusual about your work? I'll pose this to both of you, that you're like, oh, I want to protect this and maintain this and continue doing this because it's different and it's me. What is that? Have you thought about that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I agree with what you're saying. I think when you try to appeal to everybody, you appeal to nobody. So for sure, I certainly have a lot of people who don't understand my work at all. Like, why have you made somebody bright blue? Why have you made this girl bright pink? Like, that's you've ruined that photo. Like, and that's fine. That's it's a perfectly valid response. But for me, it is trying to create an image that catches somebody's attention for a split second longer. Like, and if that means that I have to make somebody bright pink or bright blue, then that's absolutely fine by me.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. For those that haven't seen Jake's work, I mean, I'm sure people that are listening have, but yeah, I love it for that reason. It really shocked me in the best way.
Good. Yeah.
Nice. So for you then, Erin, why photography? I mean, what drew you into the creative world of image making? And of course, on top of that, and a completely separate note to this, where did doing improv stand-up come from? I mean, heck, it's so different. Let's start with the first one first. I mean, why photography?
Okay, first question first. I love photography because it's a ticket. It's kind of like, you know how like the golden ticket and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
I've got the golden ticket. It's like that. People don't think about photography in that way, I find. But if you are a photographer, you can slyly insert yourself in some of the weirdest, most fun situations by offering them the gift of chronicling whatever the thing is and like almost assigning value to yourself that someone else wouldn't assign. But because you have this tool that gains access and that can build trust. So I'm into that. I'm into like, oh, you're not allowed to go there. But it's like, well, I have a camera. What can I do with this camera? Like, can I come if I have a camera? What about that? It's like this fun little game. And I think out of like so many industries, that's just a fun way to get into people's lives and their minds. And so I guess that's why I chose photography. I love people. And so it was a fun way to get to know people,
Awesome way in. And I think out of that response, we've got a little sound clip there as well, Jake, to be, you can slide yourself into people with a golden ticket. I think that's amazing. Soundbite.
Absolutely shocking. I do apologize, Erin. He's not normally like this.
No, I don't mind. Men don't say anything anymore these times. So please lay it on me. I'm not one of those ladies.
No, I mean that's a beautiful way that photography, why photography is for you and what appeals about it. I mean, from us, and of course we haven't met before this show, of course, but you just seem to have such a positive energy for what you do and the way that you do it and your style that you do it in and the reason why you do it. I just think that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And to hear that energy coming out like that, quite free with it, it's just really nice to hear. Really nice to hear. Okay.
Thanks for saying that. I appreciate that.
So the improv, the stand-up, where the heck did that come from? How does that work?
Have you ever, did anyone ever tell you this, that like the things you like to do as a little kid, you find your way back to as an adult?
No.
I haven't thought about it for a long time, but yeah.
As a kid, I was a huge performer. I was in every musical from like The Music Man to Annie to Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Like I could go on, okay? Yeah. And I reveled in singing and acting, and I'm not a great dancer, but I did dance then as well. I still dance when there's like a party, but I'm not like good at it. But either way, I came to New York and in 2017, and actually I can't tell like where all the stars aligned. I did date a comedy writer at one point, and I think that he inadvertently inspired me. Like I think there was one day, and he's, he was really talented and he was really funny. And I think he said to me, he's like, you're funny, right? You're funny. And people had said that in passing, but the fact that it was coming from him because he was a professional, I think that galvanized me a little bit. And my pal, John Dolan, who's give him a little shout out because he recommended me to be on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He's really my champion, and so people were just saying things to me, and I had this fear of checking the mail. I really never wanted to check the mail. Like, it gave me anxiety. I don't know if you ever know those people, but like, let it pile up. You get these bills, and then you're in trouble, and it sucks.
Sounds like my inbox, but I agree. Yeah.
It's so scary. I still hate it. I force myself now, but I said to myself, I was like, okay, you need to do stand-up so that you can start checking the mail. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you need to do stand-up. And so in 2018, like February 4th, I went to this old, dingy, gross bar in the Lower East Side, and I did stand up for the first time, and it was horrifying and exhilarating and so fun.
How long were you up
And then
there?
I became obsessed. 5 minutes.
Longest
But
5 minutes of your life.
that's a long 5 minutes, isn't it?
It felt like an eternity, and I think I got like a laugh at maybe.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, but that's the flip side, isn't it? Going somewhere quiet and dingy and terrible is like, at least nobody's going to see you do it. But on the flip side of that, nobody interacts with you at all. So it's like, double-edged sword.
Terrible. It was so desperate of me because it was like 9 p.m. on a Sunday, which is so sad. Everything about that is sad. It was like, it's like,
who's in
like
there?
I can't.
Yeah.
I swear, like really sad people, just like a bunch of sad fucking people.
Did you tell anybody, any friends
like
at all? Was there anybody you knew there, or you just go on your own? And...
One person, John Dolan's daughter, Olivia.
Okay.
Thank God, she met me there. She's like the best, and she came, and like you're so vulnerable. Your worth is just crushed in a matter of minutes. And you really need a sounding board at the end of it to be like, you're still worthy of everything that you've ever wanted.
Do I need to change my name? Like, is this it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like awful. I mean, I've had some crazy, sad, amazing, awful experiences doing stand-up.
But you went back though, so...
I went back because it's both narcissistic and courageous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I think, I guess here's the thing. Human beings are really nuanced and complex. We have so many different facets to who we are. And I think I'm speaking for the broad human race for some reason, but I'll speak for myself. I think I cling to labels for comfort, but we can't. And I think being a photographer, while you are influencing, how someone is responding to you, you are hiding. You are behind the curtain. You are not, you're in it insofar as, someone's reacting to you. Mm-hmm. However, you're not really in it because the photo's not of you. And I don't like to be photographed, but I love to be listened to.
You've come to the right show today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it back to your work then. I mean, like, your work feels very, very raw, and by that I mean, like, you seem to, keep some images that others might remove, like shots of crying children or the backs of people. Can I ask what aspect of these images speak to you about these people?
Oh my God. I know. I love crying babies. I think they're such fun pictures. And I love when people are naked. I grew up in a really naked environment, I guess. Like, my parents, I guess it sounds so weird to say, but my parents got divorced when I was 9. And my mom was always naked when we were kids. And it was just me, my sister, and my mom a lot of the time. And we were just like a naked family. So nudity was never weird to me. My mom is like the most fun-loving, like free-spirited. She less so now, no offense. She's really anxious, but like when we were younger, she was kind of more free.
Yeah.
And I think that totally guided me in terms of like how I want to capture people just in their freeness. Because I think that's what we're all seeking. Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the day, we don't want to be prisoners of our minds, of our jobs, in our relationships. We want to be free. And how do you authentically capture that? And so there's one picture on my website of this guy at a wedding. He was the groom, and you just see his ass.
His
I hope
ass
he's still
hanging
cool
out.
with me.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I hope he's still okay with me having that on there. But I went in. It was this is my dream, right? Because I am a flirt. So it's like I go in all the guys are getting ready for the wedding, and they're like all kind of hot, you know, and they're putting on their stuff, and the groom is in a towel. And I think I said like, you know, like no pressure, but like if your towel dropped, like I wouldn't mind snapping a picture, you know, like it just could be something.
Pretty bold. And the suggestive mind tricks. It was
pretty. And so this is the delicate balance of like not controlling, but also if you have an idea, why not speak up? You know?
Suggestive ideas, I like it, especially when people are mentally under pressure.
Right, I know, and I think
fair play to you because everybody else is terrified. You know, everybody else is coming away from that. Like, just want to knock 3 times, make sure you're fully clothed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be looking or anything like that. Everybody's terrified now. You know, so it's interesting that you're coming at it. Let me get in the shower with you. Yeah, right.
No, I'm upset. Like I live for that. Because it's just real.
Yeah.
So it's like as much as I can be there, I want to be there. You know, and that's why I only want to work with people that get it, that like want me to be around. Like the first thing I'll say, which maybe turns clients off, is like, listen, like I'm not a wallflower. Like I'm a part of your day. You know, if I was a spice, I'd be like a mixture of like paprika and like maybe hopefully cinnamon, because like I want to be cinnamon, but like I'm not sugar exclusively, and I'm not salt. You know what I mean? Some photographers are sugar. They're so sweet. They're so benign. Like just one moment. Like can I just sneak you away? Like no. You need to command what you want. So I think it's both. It's this notion of knowing when to step back and like be intuitive and just sensitive, and then other times where you're like, oh my God, your dad really is giving me a hard time with these family portraits. Like, we need to work on this. This is not acceptable. Like,
but why are you keeping these crying baby shots on the backs of heads? Is it because nobody else keeps them? Like, are you anti what people expect from you, or is it something more?
Just telling your story, maybe.
I think. Okay. I think it's complex in that everything is so fleeting to me. So the best things are fleeting. And also the worst things can be fleeting. And there's this rawness of a baby crying or a child crying where in that moment, their whole life is tied to the fact that they didn't get that ice cream. Like, that's it. Like, that's all they're thinking about. Yeah. They're just like, they're so pissed that they didn't get the ice cream. And I think about my mom and I have talked about this. Like, she actually, she brought this up to me. Like, that's their biggest problem, that they didn't have the ice cream. And I miss when that was my biggest problem. And so there's a nostalgia in capturing just like the plight of this little kid. And it's so sweet and it's so pure and it's so fleeting, because they're going to grow up and they're not going to cry about that. They're going to cry about getting heartbroken, or they're going to cry about not getting that job that they wanted or whatever. And so it's like, I love memorializing the everyday. I'm really obsessed with that because I think it's overlooked, and we're only here for such a short stint. So why not capture it all? Why not eat it all? You know?
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I do like that analogy of, you know, like just that nostalgic of remember when the worst thing that ever happened to you was you didn't get an ice cream. It's true. It is like, yeah, man, those were good days, even though I was crying my eyes out at the time. Those were good days.
Right. Those were great days, you know, like, oh my God. So there's the perspective. It's kind of like, you don't have the consciousness when you're a kid. I still am working on consciousness like every day because, you know, it's so easy to get trapped in delusion and, you know, so it's like, but also life is delusional. So much of life is delusional. So
true fact. Yeah. It's not a lie there, is it? That's for sure. But I guess also with your shots of crying babies and things, and, you know, especially a crying baby, because it's very vocal at such an event as well, then it's a moment that other people will remember. Remember when that baby just screamed its head off because it couldn't get damn ice cream? Right. Clap. Yeah, there it is within your set of images for your wedding. Enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I also, you know what else I was thinking about too? I think, okay, and I don't know, this probably relates to why I like to be on stage. I think as human beings, we have needs. And a lot of times we have unmet needs that maybe weren't fulfilled in childhood, that we're seeking either in our current relationships or in our art. and we're trying to like reconcile and heal whatever gaps weren't filled in some ways. And so a kid crying, like while I am poking a little bit of fun, it's a little cheeky and maybe a little insensitive. It's also documenting a need. It's like this kid is seeking attention. As human beings, we're all like crying babies inside.
The need for attention, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like some people would just be like, shut the fuck up. But I'm kind of like, oh, look at this little baby. Let me just take one quick picture and then I'll pick you up. You know what I mean? Like it's both. It's like, I really want to document you and I would love to get you an ice cream, you know?
Jay, I think all these words of wisdom of life here, I think we see a potential life coach coming up in the future with this.
The life coach. Wow. Savage.
Erin, I mean, you seem to cover quite a range of photography genres. Is that deliberate or is that just a now thing? Or does the idea of specializing in, say, one thing bore you? Or does the variety sort of help fuel your creative mind?
That's a great question. I guess, to be honest, I think it's rooted in fear. It's like, it's this notion of... if I specialize in one thing, what if I don't make it at that thing? So then like, what's my fallback? Like, oh, if I can also shoot headshots, if I can also shoot, food, if I can also shoot people in bed or a couple, if I can kind of like dip my toes in all these different things, maybe I can keep making this dream work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still think it all falls under the similar umbrella. I guess the food thing is different because I love baking and cooking and stuff. So that's just like another creative outlet. So that differs. But the umbrella is people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's unified in that way, I feel,
Yeah. Oh. Okay. No, it's a nice approach. And I think it's nice to think that way sometimes as well, that it's almost like the fear is almost still driving you to be good at something else rather than just to rely on the one thing, You've almost got that little bit of self-doubt of you. What if I don't make it in this? What's my fallback? So that fear is driving you to learn, another skill set in another genre. I'm still within the photography. Yeah, nice.
Totally. Nice. And I mean, I'm newer to film. I shot film like 35 millimeter in high school.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of in the last couple of years, I've been getting back into it. Okay. But that's just another avenue to push myself. I've really never shot medium format. So I'm like a poser kind of. But but like of my Canon AE1 or my little point and shoot, I'm and that's kind of another fun like challenge, just to be like, okay, how good are you? Can you get the shot?
Yeah. It's funny, Jay, because yesterday or the day before when we're discussing this episode, when we're going through some of your images, Erin, we were asking, Jake and I are both sort of question whether you're shooting film within your set. And there's one image in particular, Jake, that we've looked at because of the grain content or the noise.
Yeah, I was fairly confident that you were shooting film. Yeah, and because I think you have to let go when you shoot film, right? You can't look at the image. You just got to let go. You just got to take a little bit of faith in what you know. You're pretty confident that the settings are probably going to be okay for what you need. And
there's not a lot of settings you can change on a film camera.
Point it in the right direction and just let go. And I think people struggle with that now, especially today. What is it? I don't know if it's going to come out. And
the fear.
What's the worst that can happen?
And the image in particular was the one. It was in the back of a wedding car. It's a black and white one where the bride's leaning over to kiss the groom.
Film.
There you go.
That's
yeah.
That's such a great point. But Jake, that's a really great point. Because it's trusting. It's trusting in the universe. It's trusting in yourself. It's trusting in your subjects. And it's being open and not attached. Like there's a lot of Buddhist, ideology in that, of this notion of letting go and surrendering. And that is hard because we live in a time where there's so much control and there so isn't. But especially with digital though, there is, because you have the instant gratification of looking at the back of your camera,
Agreed. But I find it interesting that there are so many modern photographers today that maybe haven't shot film before or maybe they're just doing it for the first time now, but they shoot digital normally, but they also shoot film, and they pick up the film camera, and for some reason, they give themselves like a free pass. You know, they're like, oh, I don't care if it's not in focus. I don't care if it's not correctly exposed. I don't care if it's a funny angle. And it's like, why? But why can't you have that same like free-flowing passion with digital? Yeah. Like, why do you have to insist on it being absolutely perfect? Yeah, as soon as you pick up an analog camera, it's like, oh well, you know, it's cool. I don't mind. I'll just snap away. Like, what? Why can't you do both? You know, it's weird.
That's such a great point. I think I kind of, if I am to answer your question, I kind of think it's because creativity occurs, in my mind, a lot of creativity occurs with constraints. Mm-hmm. So if you have a deadline, if you have a limit, if there's something that's going to prevent you from, you know, doing it in the allotted time that you intended, you'll work better, you'll work harder, you'll work faster. And with film, it's like what? You have 24, 36 tries, depending on the camera you have. And with digital, you have, I don't know, 2 memory cards that have like the you know what I mean? You can bleed into another card. So it's like 4,000 tries.
Yeah, go get medium format. You get 10 shots. There you are. 10 shots.
I'm so scared. I'm too scared. I'm going to do it. This year I will.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, we still shoot film ourselves occasionally, don't we, Jake? So
yeah, I shot 2 rolls of 6x7, at the weekend. Yeah, I haven't processed them yet, but yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. When 10 shots, I think. Yeah, at best.
Yeah.
What was it? What were they up?
It was a studio shoot, so like editorial portraits. Of a girl. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was all with flash and that sort of thing. But again, like with flash photography, you can't see it, so you're even more in the dark. So it's,
that is riskier. Yeah. It's like greater reward.
True.
But it's scary.
I think we touched on this a minute ago, but how are you actually preparing your clients before you arrive? I mean, everybody seems very natural in your shots, but how are you getting your subjects into that space?
Ooh, well, it depends on which ones. Like the bed series, that started 6 years ago almost, and that was just like random people, sometimes strangers, sometimes friends, sometimes people that come to me, but it's basically me saying, hey, like, I think you're interesting. Mm-hmm. I love your love. I would love for you to leave your keys underneath your mat and let me wake you up. If you're cool with that.
What? Well, there's an invite. There's an invite.
And then just wait.
You don't get very often.
And then wait for them to be like, what? Or like, oh my God, we could totally be down for that. And so I kind of like prep them by saying like, it sounds weird, but it's really not weird because I don't make it weird. And if you say it's not weird, then it's not weird. Like if you can act the way you want to feel, you know what I mean? So if I act like it's normal when I make the ask and I just say it really flippantly, then they kind of think it's normal and then it just happens. You know what I mean?
Wow, we need to unpack that there. I mean, we can either do it now or later, but it's like we've just crossed a lot of territory there that we need to talk about. Yeah.
We've got a question on that later in part 2 of the show. It's I think we'll unwrap that one later so we can go for a deep dive on that one. Yeah.
So in short, it's dependent on the person, like how you're getting them, into that space, and you're just reassuring them that you're not crazy and everything will be fine. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying to me?
I think there's exactly like promising them that like hopefully it won't be like nuts. I mean, I think it's just having a really transparent conversation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's no bullshit, just being okay.
No bullshit.
No bells and whistles.
Lay
just like listen.
Line.
Yeah, like like I love this. Something like noticing something specific in them, the couple or said person that like is unusual or special, and being like, I really love this about you, or I'm really enchanted by this aspect of your style or what you do, and I just want to capture you in all your authenticity. Like, this is how I work. Like, does that appeal to you? Is that something you're comfortable with? If not, I totally understand. Always give them the option to say no. Yeah. And then they'll be like, well, maybe my husband will be okay with this. You know what I mean? Maybe, so it's a gamble.
I think there's only a few people who could do what you're doing there. Like to have the confidence in what you're doing and get that across to potential strangers to get yourself in that position is that like that's a skill alone. Surely that is remarkable. I
know. If I tried it, they'd be on the phone.
Mate, I would be. Yeah,
police would be around in no time.
I've already got the number dialed in for you. Yeah,
I could put my best like go to bed voice on and everything, mate, and still be police at the door. Yeah,
just please.
You could be live recording at night. I come in the morning, you come at night. There's something that could be worked out.
You got to stop these sound bites.
Don't encourage him, Erin,
up.
please, for God's sake. Just don't, please.
By the time I cut all these different sound bites together into one sentence, they're going to be an absolute dream there.
Too good.
So jumping back, I'm loving this episode. It's great. So much laughter. So how's the pandemic affected your work? Going to a bit of a bit more serious and not an exciting topic really, but how's the pandemic affected your work and mainly your people and lifestyle shoots? Because obviously, we've all had a cap on that for a while. Is that sort of forced you to find another creative avenue to carry on pushing out your work?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So I think I used to think of like my creativity exclusively with photography, and now it's more broad. So like I do virtual improv every week with a team.
Okay.
So like that's like, and I realize like it all fuels each other. So if I know that if I do improv, then I'll be more empowered to take a weird picture of someone on the street the next day.
True.
So
Yeah.
so like I guess a more recent example is, we've had some sun too, and the weather, there've been a couple of days where it's like 65 and you feel like, oh my God, this is freedom. Like, holy shit, and those days I'm like, I need to just be in the world. I need to go to the park. I need to go to the fucking park, even if I'm alone. And I just need to be a creep and just walk around and see what I see. And sure enough, like last Saturday, I went to Tompkins Square Park, Lower East Side or East Village. I don't know my geography of New York anymore, but people really forgot about COVID. It was like COVID never, it was sort of sad. I was like, come on guys, like let's try harder. But there were so many young people without masks and they looked so happy and free, and there was live music and it felt like there was a rave. Like it really was like a rave, like outdoor. And I'm getting to that point where am I too old to like insert myself in these weird things, or can I just lean into it? So I'm just like buzzing through these busy crowds and I'm like acknowledging the beauty of these like college kids that are just like celebrating being outside. And I just approached them and they didn't have masks on and they were smoking weed and cigarettes and doing the whole thing. And I was like, you just look so cool. Like, I just want to photograph you so bad. Like, I think I'm going to do a series on people in parks after COVID, because like this is going to be a really horny summer for everyone. And so, and then everyone's just going to be fucking like crazy this summer. So like, can you be in my book? Hey, like, so it forced me. I was scared. I was kind of scared because I'm not talking to people as much anymore. Like, I'm not seeing as many folks. So it takes courage to go up to strangers and be like, hey, I think you're really interesting. Like, can I mind if I snap your pic? But I'm forcing myself to be out of the box in that way. So that's like an example of like pushing creativity with constraints right now.
Yeah, get you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got live music and bands and people in the park. I mean, I get excited with crowds in the supermarket down here.
Right.
Because of the lockdown. Jesus. I'd love to go to the park and see a live band and music. It'd be amazing.
Right?
Jesus.
Is that not happening? Is that not happening where you are yet?
No. It's we've only now been lifted here where you're allowed to meet up with 6 people in the same household.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, that's probably true here, maybe, but I don't know. I don't see anyone
nobody
anymore.
gives a shit over there.
People don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's too busy
different
smoking
over
weed.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, younger people, vaccination just opened up 30 plus I think today.
Okay.
And then next week it'll be like 16 plus in New York. So people are getting vaccinated fairly quickly.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I've not been done yet either. So, yeah. Must be my youth. Not there yet.
Mate, yeah, it's just subtle, real smooth, mate. Yeah, it's like, I don't think I've had mine yet. Yeah. Bragging about not having it.
Yeah. See what happens when you don't get any sun. You start getting the silver look. Lack of that vitamin D is what it is. That's what I blame it on.
So funny.
Erin, what's your workflow? How are you prepping for your shoot, and what are you bringing to ensure you don't miss anything, like on a wedding, for example?
Oh, what's my workflow? Ooh, I got to listen to some like really empowering music.
Okay.
Like before, like I want to get in the flow. Like I got to get in that flow state. I'm trying to think about like, if I say it correctly, Yazoo.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Strawberry
like I'm
milk?
listening. is like Bronski beat, or I'm listening to
you're
like
going,
some.
you're going
you know,
back in
some
time a
80s.
bit. Going back
I'm
in
going
time.
back in time. I'm going back in time.
You're doing a throwback, aren't you? Throwback to the
I'm doing
to the
throwback.
80s.
Oh yeah. Oh
80s,
yeah.
90s. Jeez.
Totally. I want to go in time, like Alanis Morissette, or just like something empowering.
Okay.
Okay.
And
this is the morning before you head out to the wedding.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess I have a whole morning ritual. I don't know if you want to hear that. It could bore
Go for
you.
it.
But
Yeah,
go on.
For it. Yeah.
Ooh.
You can always cut it out.
Okay.
Knock it down for it. Knock it down.
You can cut it out. You can cut it out.
It's fine. It's fine.
If it bores you and it bores the listeners, you can cut it out. But
for listeners, if you don't have one of these, go get one now. It sounds like it's really fun already before we've even started.
I think, okay, for baseline level of happiness, if I can swing it, there are like 5 things I need to do to feel like a human being. So first thing, I do morning pages, which for those folks that don't know, it's you write stream of conscious for like a half hour, 40 minutes.
You write what, sorry?
Okay.
Stream of conscious, just top of your intelligence, like whatever's coming up, you just write in a little journal or whatever, anything.
Okay.
So that just like, I don't know, the habit of writing
I've never
and
known
like
that.
reflecting and just like getting all my shit out. There's something about that feels really cathartic.
And you do that as soon as you wake up in the morning?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Morning Pages. It
Jake,
started with
Jake, that's you stuffed, mate. I mean, morning is the word that kills you straight away. There.
Like, look,
Is there an afternoon version?
let's just say that. Let's just say that I get up after
afternoon
I've done it in my head. Yeah, go on, carry on.
Have you heard of the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron?
I haven't read it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I haven't. I honestly have it on my bookshelf. I've read like 3 pages of it, but the main takeaway is the morning pages thing. Like she thinks that in order to be creative,
First
you
3
need to do
pages
this
are
every day.
great, by the way.
Right.
Just
I'll get there.
highly recommend.
Intro, content, and hello.
You're right. I know. I'll bring myself to finish it one day.
Okay.
But she swears by the morning pages. So I do that. I meditate 10, 20 minutes. Depends. I do yoga. Like I might do like 15, like it could be just quick, like 15 minutes of yoga. I like to read something like spiritual. So like right now I'm reading Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace.
Okay.
And that's all about, I mean, there's so many things, but it goes into archetypes, like chakras, like, you know, how everyone we meet in this life, we're meant to meet, whether they're fixtures or just like fleeting people. Or like Ram Dass, you know, he's like spiritual monk dude that died in 2019, but he's just amazing and he's the most wise person ever. And then I really try to go on a walk of some sort.
Christ, what time are you getting up?
I was waiting for that.
I might not do it
Sweating
all
just
first
thinking
thing.
about
Some
it.
of it I have to break up. But
Okay.
if I'm like on my A game,
I'm waiting for Jake's pain. 6-ish?
if I'm on my A game, but
Let-
lately
hold
it's like
Hold on,
7:30.
let's put that into context. 6 a.m. that isn't it? Not p.m. Yeah.
6 a.m. It is. What time does Jake wake up?
Jake,
I go to bed at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake, yeah. And that's not a lie either, you know. It's
You're a night owl, but you have to lean into that you're a night owl.
I am, Erin. Yeah, thank you. Somebody who realizes that. Thank you.
There's something amazing about that because we have peak creativity at different times, depending on if we're morning larks or night owls. And I'm a morning lark and you seem to be a night owl.
Yeah.
So you must do some of your most creative work at night.
Yep. It's really annoying. Sometimes I only really get going at like 9 o'clock at night. It's super annoying sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have, I don't mean to pry, but do you have a family? Like, is that annoying? Are you married? Does that annoy your wife?
It can do. So yeah, I mean, we eat pretty late. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, because I know whenever I get married one day, if he's a night owl, there have to be like at least 3 nights a week where we go to sleep at the same time to maintain love. You know what I mean? Like I'm just committed to that.
It's more like passing ships in the night sort of thing. I mean, yeah, I get into bed as she's getting up. It's you know, it works out.
Yeah.
It works out.
crazy.
It works out. Okay, no, I don't. I hope you didn't think that I was giving you a hard time. I'm just expressing.
Oh my goodness, no.
We just wouldn't be
honestly,
compatible,
Wayne
but
is just
it's not.
every moment he gets. Yeah. Wayne's just
Yeah.
jealous because he has a young child, so he doesn't get any sleep. So,
Yeah.
Wayne, do you not sleep at all?
Me? Oh yeah, no. I'm a bit of both of
Every
both of
time
you,
he
really, if you want
blinks,
to put it
yeah.
like that. I'm a bit of both of you. I do go to bed quite late, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning,
Oh my
every
gosh.
night. Through the day,
Hardly
I can,
shows.
you know, Throughout the day, I can be up. I'm up early generally anyway, and I soldier on through. But the thing with that is, I'm most creative when my body relaxes in the evening. Then my mind fires up. That's the problem. So if my body's physically tired and I go to bed, then all of a sudden the engines kick up in my brain and they're firing away with thoughts and ideas and creations. And it's a nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
Pain in my ass.
Do you lean into it or do you fight it?
No, I lean into it a lot. And then I do love the process because it means that my mind is only working by itself without me being interrupted physically with anything else. So I have all those beautiful thoughts. And then by the morning, I'm back to being practical again. I've forgotten fucking half of them because I'm back to my normal day. So back to the daily grind.
Real quick then, you've done all the meditating and your writing and you're fixing the world. And then you go on your walk. Then what?
Well, at some point I try to read a little bit of the paper in there.
Right.
I try because I want to be informed. I don't want to be like some ignorant little, useless person. I just, I really want to be like.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk. No, I just have self-worth issues. So all I'm trying to do is just become like better.
Don't read the papers then, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what sort of kit are we taking?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Okay. So for a wedding, I have a Fuji X-T2 with a 35 and a 50.
Nice.
I have my Canon 5D Mark III, which, with my 35 and also my 50.
Nice.
Those are like my two standards. And then I throw in like maybe like a couple film cameras. Okay. So like some random point and shoot or like a Canon AE1.
Okay.
Because I'm not very advanced with film. But that's kind of it. I used to do the like 70 to 200 situation, but it's just too fucking heavy. And I'm just too old and too young. I don't want to deal with it. And so I kind of take the risk, and I might want to go more mirrorless. I don't know. Maybe we could have a sidebar about equipment at another time because I kind of am in need of an upgrade a little bit.
Sure. Oh. Yeah. So, which is your? Don't get Wayne started for Christ's sake, please.
You mentioned the Fuji word.
No.
Already,
hang on a second, Wayne. You're going down the Fuji route. Which is your main camera then that you're shooting with on the day? The Fuji or the Canon?
I'm shooting both simultaneously. I have a flash. I have a flash that I use at night to put on my Canon.
Okay.
But my Canon is the most reliable because it's the most powerful and it's the best in low light. So I like feel really safe with my Canon.
Solid, strong review there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My Fuji's great for daytime, but at night, if I want, I guess it gets pretty grainy. And,
XT2. Yeah. You just need to upgrade it. You'll be fine. But yeah.
Quick sidebar. Wayne and I were talking about what camera you use, and we both were convinced you were using a Canon. So that is interesting.
Yeah, looking at your work. We were trying to guess what camera you use based on your work.
Because we're absolute lifeless nerds. Nothing to do with that at all. Yeah.
That's so fun.
Because it's so hard to tell nowadays in a digital world. But because your images looked, fairly, I don't mean raw in terms of processing, but raw and natural. We were trying to guess what camera you were using based on your skin color tones that look most natural in cameras. And we both landed on Canon. So
wow, that's amazing that you were able to make that distinction. That says a lot.
Yeah. So it does say a lot about
probably
us.
Shot on a Fuji, Jake.
Nothing positive, but it does say a lot about us. Yeah, that's true, Erin. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
The ones we said were Canon, Jake, were probably shot on a Fuji.
Wow.
So funny.
Yeah. No, it's a good. I used to be a Canon shooter for 20 odd years, so I know what it's like.
What are you now?
I'm Fuji through and through.
Through and through. Wow.
Right
Which one?
I shoot XT4 and then I'm on a medium formats, the GFX 50s and 100s.
Wow, I've heard great
the big
things.
guns. And I'm an ambassador for them as well for the last 6 years, nearly 7 years. So
Incredible.
Yeah, but no, they're both good. But mirrorless. You'll get there in the end, like fully mirrorless. I mean, I don't mean that in a condescending way, but it's the way the world's going.
No, it's like we need to be like malleable. Like it's hard. It's really hard when you have heavy equipment.
Yeah.
All day for sure. Yeah.
All day.
Wayne's not getting any younger.
Right, Erin, we've reached the middle of the show and now we come to another little fun spot where we turn on the spotlight for you and put you on our little mini stage of the rapid fire, not so rapid fire round.
Okay, I'm ready for the rapid fire, not so rapid fire.
You charged? You ready for this?
Yep.
The Battle of the
Fired
Wits.
up.
It's not the Battle of the Wits at all. And for anyone listening to this, remember the rapid fire, not so rapid fire round consists of 10 questions where Jake and I bombard our lovely guest with them. And some of them may be relevant to our industry, our guest and her career, and some of them may be completely unrelated. So you could learn a little or absolutely nothing whatsoever. Okay, Erin, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Can you fly a plane?
No.
Okay, it's an easy one done, out of the way. The most shots you've ever taken on one shoot.
Like 6,000 gross. I don't want to admit
What?
that. One of my earlier weddings. I know it's crazy, but I don't do that anymore. But it's happened.
No shit.
I know. It's bad. I shouldn't give that away.
Nuts, man.
Yeah, she shot that
gross.
10 years ago, and she's still editing them now.
Crazy.
Who was your pop star teenage crush?
Ooh, I haven't thought about them in a while.
Oh, there's a list. Okay, any one of them will do.
I know, right? I know.
Any famous person, teenage crush.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be pop star. Yeah.
Okay, I really did love Michelle Branch when I was a kid. She's a
Who's
singer.
Okay.
Okay.
She's a pop singer.
Okay. Yeah. A name we're not familiar with. Well, I'm not. I don't know about you, Jake. No?
Well, I'm a little bit younger, but no, I'm not familiar with it. If you had a ton of cash, what one piece of photo gear would you rush out and buy?
I would buy like some old school, easy to use toy camera or something.
Really, Erin? Really?
With a ton of cash.
Ugh, okay, maybe I would buy a new Fuji.
Jesus Christ!
Speak to me after the show.
Wow.
Now, this is a bit of a rhetorical question. Can you do an English accent?
Oh my goodness. I mean, some people say I'm pretty fucking good at it, but I don't know. It depends on who I'm talking
Wow.
to. You know what I mean?
Nailed it. That is, whew.
We got to give you,
Right?
we got to give you credit there. That was straight
It's
into it.
solid.
Brilliant.
No, it's
Love
true.
that.
It's a solid 4 out of
Yeah.
10. Yeah, well done.
Something we knew about you
God.
before we got you on.
God. How quick can you neck a pint of beer then with that English accent?
Oh my goodness. Not at all. I can't do any of that. I hate beer. I think it's gross.
Saved.
Loving it.
Saved.
So, have you ever booked the wrong date for a shoot and have the client call you asking where you are?
No, but I've been late and on a wedding day at a courthouse wedding, and I went to the wrong courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
And they called, and that was really awkward. But I showed up.
Okay. They were married, but you showed up.
Right. Oh, it was terrible. They were all waiting. There was family from Italy. I was like, oh my God.
No.
It was luckily it was a friend. So
Yeah.
they were understanding, but it was mortifying.
So,
They were
yeah.
understanding
She
on
was a
their
friend.
wedding day.
She expected it.
She was a friend, past tense. Yeah.
Share one of your favorite one-liners with us.
My grandfather got throat cancer from licking too much pussy.
Okay. I mean, that'll clear a room. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I know people hate me. I can't go back to like my mom's like town because I said that joke in front of all her friends, and they think
No.
I'm like, they think I'm unwell, which I understand.
I think you could pull it off if you did that in a British accent. I think that'd be totally acceptable. But
Yeah. I know it sounded good in the American accent. To be fair, have you ever had a piece of camera kit fail on you?
Yes, my Fuji.
Ooh. Let's see whether this gets edited out.
Sorry, what? What was that? That's like a bit of interference on this
Sorry.
end.
I know. It's really hard to right, but yeah, the Fuji. I mean, sometimes unreliable. I don't know what else to say. It's like,
Come on, mate,
No,
having a
it
laugh,
sucked.
aren't you?
Upgrade.
it was so bad. It's because I cloned. Here's the thing. I think it was overloaded because I had 2 cards.
6,000
a
images will do
backup.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Whoa.
wedding was not 6,000. This was like less than 1,000. But I had the 2 cards and they were cloning. And I think one of them crapped out, or like the camera crapped out and it got overheated or overwhelmed, and I had to put it away.
Overwhelmed with the amazing images it was recording sounds like the issue there. Yeah, yeah. No problem with Fuji's. They appreciate
Fuji
your work.
taking a jibe there.
Yeah, or you might just have had shit cards, to be fair.
Oh, I knew. I was waiting for it. I was like, Wayne is definitely going to blame the cards. I can hear it now.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Are you barbecue or hot and spicy wings?
Barbecue.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, same.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think that's one of the fastest 10-question rapid fire, not so rapid fire rounds we've ever done.
Really? Okay, I hope that's good. I don't want to
No, it's fine. Yeah,
that was
The
good. I
audience
mean,
appreciates it.
yeah, I mean, yours definitely came with impact. I'll give you that.
True, to be fair, yeah.
So how do you feel on that one, Erin? How did the rapid fire go for you? So there's a cold sweat's over now?
I know. Sometimes when
You
you're on
really-
your feet, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
fuck.
6,000
and
images,
then it's
though.
not.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's horrifying to admit that happened.
it's the only thing I learned today. But
Yeah. I think that one's even standing precedence over the one-liner, if in all fairness. You know, let's have more impact.
It's true.
6,000
That's true
images.
to us nerds.
Jesus.
That's true.
It was I was so scared. You know, it's like when you shoot one of your first weddings, you're just like, I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe, yeah.
You
do you
don't
shoot
know
weddings?
fear until you've shot
No
an entire
way.
wedding on film. Have you ever shot an entire wedding on film?
No. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like 20 years
That's
ago.
all
It wasn't
you.
digital. Yeah. It was a nightmare. I mean, not at the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't realize it at the time because you just, that's all you know. So you're just shooting it on film.
Right.
But yeah.
Can you
Right.
imagine doing 6,000 shots on film? Holy shit.
Like
No.
a little shopping cart of like 35 rolls.
Holy fuck. Yeah. That's why I'm just
Oh
going to
my
change my
God.
film. Hold on. Bring the van back. That's it.
Right.
Bring it back. It's like-
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
It would be a fun test if I did a wedding for free and they didn't care, or or they didn't care or something. Maybe it would be a fun test to just do film.
Let us know when you do that. That's a whole new episode.
I've just done the math.
Yeah.
6,000 shots is 250 rolls of film.
Oh my God. No, that's horrifying. That's so scary.
250 rolls of
36.
'Cause I scan
That's
negatives all the
24
time. It takes
granted, but
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that on medium format. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
600 rolls. Okay, right. Let's get back into it. Now, as we said earlier, we mentioned one of your projects, your in bed or waking up project. Now, let's dive into that a little bit more. How the hell did that idea even come about? Now, I know you've covered a little bit, but how did it get started? Did you have to start with friends first so they didn't think you were completely a bit, bit cuckoo,
Yeah,
bit
I
off the
know,
wire?
right? Well, I went to this photo school called the Rocky Mountain School of Photography in Montana, Missoula, Montana, and it's did I say that it's an accelerated career training program? I'm blacking out. Okay.
No.
Well, it was less than a year and it was kind of like rapid fire for photography, but like 1,000,000 hours a day, dive right in, learn the business,
Right.
learn the basics, all the things.
Okay.
And while there was this like really bizarre artist couple that seemed super enticing to me. They're musicians and she's like an animator and she illustrator. She did everything. She was so cool. They're both still so amazing. And I decided that I wanted my final project to be like a month-long documentary on them leading up to their wedding. So like the engagement period, like the sacred time right before they got married. And so I would just come and shoot them at random. And I was like, one day I'd really love to photograph you guys first thing in the morning, waking up just to complete this story. Like, I just want that to be part of my narrative of you both. And I approached them randomly. We had some mutual friends, but they had no idea who I was. They probably thought I was a little weird at first. But then that's how it started. And then I kept doing it. I kept being like, hey, can I come over first thing in the morning and get you and your partner waking up? And it started with friends and people kind of normalized it because I was in a weird, quirky place. And then I like brought that with me back to California and New York.
Wow.
So it's actually legit then. So, I mean, because I was thinking they're staged, but it's not staged.
No. Oh my, Jake, that is offensive.
Take that back. Cruel man.
No, Jake, you need to know something about me. I do not stage these pictures. This is real life. Like, I don't stage anything in those bed series. That's nothing staged. Nothing. I might make them laugh, but I do not stage anything.
So you mentioned earlier on about like a key under the mat stuff. So you're letting yourself in. Let me just clear this up. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Are there
creepy.
parameters in place here for this? Or
What do you mean parameters? Like which
Well,
one?
you know, do you have sort of any guidelines, parameters set in place? You know, hey, the key's under the mat, but don't come in before 6 a.m. or don't come in after 7, or you know, if we're asleep, wake us up, let us know you're walking in first because I might not be dressed, or hey, you know, morning glory, all those kind of things.
Right. I mean, I will say this: some shoots have gotten botched because the couple didn't realize how serious I was about me waking them up. So then I'm like kind of a little grouchy inside in my heart. I'm like, fuck, you didn't take me seriously.
So you are waking them up?
Oh my God, yeah. I am like getting in their fucking bed, like on top of them.
Guys, you have to check out these images on Erin's website.
Yeah, true.
I have to update it. Some of those, I have a bunch of new ones that I haven't shared, but like, so it's really creepy. It's creepy because now I'm getting older, so I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, Erin, this is weird.
It's 2021, Erin. You got to be careful these days.
Erin, are you saying you're growing up and maturing now? That's what we say when life starts to get boring. You're like, hey, I'm getting a bit weird now. It's like, yeah, you're getting old. You know, you're getting maturing.
I'm turning 30. I'm turning 30 in 2 weeks.
Spring chicken still.
Wow. Those were good days, man.
Chicken.
They were good days.
Were they good
Best times of my life at that age.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah. Life is only just coming to a boil.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you for that. That's exciting.
What are your goals with this project, though? What are you setting out to try and do? Like, what's in it for you and what's in it for the client?
The goal is to obviously have like a really voluminous book over like years and years and years, and to have a show and to pitch it to like the New York Times or the New Yorker, which are two of my favorite publications. Mm-hmm. That's always been a long-term goal. For the couple, I think it's a moment in time that feels really overlooked and simultaneously very sacred. So even for people that have broken up, I talk to people that I photograph who have broken up, who still have those pictures, and they tell me like, I still look at them. Like I'm grieving that relationship, but I'm also thankful that I have these images that memorialized it in such an honest way. Like, I think, it's more just about the fact that like people just wake up and they get out of bed and they have their day. But there is so much magic and intimacy in like rolling next to the person you love and like nuzzling them and then having a person that's just like there, you know? So, and then for me, I just think it's fun to get in bed with strangers. And
I can see the attraction in that. Yeah,
don't get me started.
No, I know.
Don't get me started. The sun's out. Don't get me started.
I think it's a fascinating project, and I think it's. I'm just trying to think of a time where you're more vulnerable as a person. You know, like
never. That's the thing. It's the most.
That moment of being asleep and then waking up or woken up by somebody. I mean, it's got to be one of the most vulnerable times of our day for sure.
Even if you know that's going to happen the next morning, by the time you've gone to sleep, you're sort of still sleeping, so you're unaware that it's going to happen, aren't you? Kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's a fascinating project, and I really hope that it goes. And I haven't not seen anybody doing anything like that. You know, especially not.
I'm hoping that the longevity. I'm hoping the longevity will like set me apart, because sadly I've noticed a lot of photographers have like taken their pictures of couples in bed, but it's like at like 11 and it's like people wearing
those
clothes.
People like up at 11 are disgusting.
Right?
Yeah. So
I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, that's it's a really interesting project, and I hope you just carry on with it like forever, because it just sounds brilliant.
I want to do old people so bad. I've done some old people, but I need to do more.
How did they
By
take
old people,
it?
I want like people in their 80s.
I mean, when you say old, you're talking about
I thought
40,
you were looking at me then. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done people in their 50s, which was so fun. My friend's parents. That was a great one.
Your friend's parents?
That was really cool. Yeah. I mean, I want to do so many people. There's so many people I want to do. So many people won't let me. It's
it's weird. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Here you go for our listeners. For those of you that are interested in having that done, then you drop Erin an email after the show. It'll be in the show notes. You can contact her direct, and she'll come and just wake the shit out of you first thing in the morning. You least expect you to leave a key under the mat.
I'll come to Europe for you.
So how does that going deeper into that? How does that work for you? I mean, you know, we know you're not camping out in their house all night now because it's a key under the mat job. But is that basically how it works to get the morning shot? You literally have a key under the mat to their house, and they're like, hey, just wander in. Did you let them know what sort of time you're coming in? Because, you know, when people are first thing in the morning, especially early, and they're waking up, that's quite a personal thing. And like we said, a vulnerable thing as well, especially when you're not expecting it. I mean, for me, I go to bed butt naked and I wake up butt naked. So how does that work?
It's more information
I've seen
than
so
we
many
all
people
needed,
naked.
But thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, true fact. Yeah.
It depends. So there are some people where I have stayed over at their house the night before.
Oh, really?
They have.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Okay.
There are some, if like I'm traveling and they're like, please, you know, then like, so there are a couple of times where I have had sleepovers the night before, which is great because then it's really easy. And for the
I'm just
people
going to sleep under the bed. Don't worry about me. Pretend I'm not here.
Yeah. I'm going to sleep over that side of the room. Don't worry. I'm just going to slip in the morning. No pun intended there. Just going to slip into bed in the morning.
Slip in the morning.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's no, literally when I leave, that's what's happening. There's still no. So oh no, there are people, I think I've riled them up and then they're horny and then I leave so that they can, you know, do the
Oh,
do the
okay.
business.
Okay. So
They can wake the morning up properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can really wake up. get that all squared away. For the people that I don't stay over the night before, a lot of times there's a code. There's either a code to get in their building, and then there's a separate key that's hidden like underneath this left shoe or whatever. And then they say like, oh, roughly we get up at this time if you want to come, you know, around then or a smidge before. And so it is that moment when you walk, you tiptoe in. First of all, if they have an animal, that's horrifying because I'm like, fuck, is the dog going to wake up?
Yeah, that's what's waiting for that.
But then maybe that's better than me waking them, you know what I mean? And then I'm in their room and I'm like hyperventilating, sweating, you know, always because I think I'm like very hot. Like I am a middle-aged woman at that point. I am profusely sweating. And it's really warm and sticky in every corner of the room and in my heart a little bit. And then I'm clicking and they're fucking sleeping. Like they are fully sleeping.
That's nuts.
And then they hear the clicking and they are slowly.
Yeah.
I know, it's so creepy. It's creepy when you say it out loud. It's really scary. I'm creeped out by myself. I'm like,
you have
every
to
time
get
I'm
into
there
somebody's home, find their bedroom whilst they're asleep and photograph. This is nuts, man. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and this has been with a bunch of strangers too. These aren't just friends. You know what I mean? Like these are random fucking people.
Yeah.
So it could get weird, you know?
Jeez.
But yeah, and then they slowly wake up. But like, I have to remember they consented to this. So it's kind of like if you like meet someone at a bar and you're like, come home with me, I'm not drunk. And then you wake up next to each other. Ideally, you were expecting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have those, but you know, I mean, ideally,
not quite the same. But I hear where you're going with it.
Get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I really want to do one night stands. Like I want to like meet someone out at a bar, a couple or two people that are together and be like, hey, it seems like you guys are going to go home with each other tonight. What are your thoughts on me coming first? Like I want that so bad because I think it's so awkward.
I can already see that two people that have, you know, on a first date with each other, and then somebody else is coming over to ask them to come home with them. They're going to be like, "Hey, what the?"
Right.
You know, she wants to come back. What?
I know.
Coming back. What? Three of us?
Right.
That's the initial thought, wasn't it?
You're probably right.
And then you mentioned the camera and photographing, and they're going to be, hold on a minute. It's our first night together.
Right. But maybe they need a third to spice it up.
Yeah.
Who knows? People
who knows?
What bars is Erin going to, Wayne?
Variety is a spice of life, as they say, Erin. Yeah.
That's never happened yet.
The other thing is that you obviously have a short window, right? I mean, like 5 minutes, and then the project, like the sweet spot of what you're after is done. Wayne, come on.
Sorry,
but like you've only got a short.
It only takes 5 minutes for some men.
I mean,
true.
you know, 5 are the best, though, right? I mean, it's about quality, not quantity. But like you've only got that short window, right?
It's only a short window until the man finishes, and then I got to get the fuck out of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I know, I'm really dirty. My comedy's pretty dirty. It's, you know, a product of my childhood, I guess. Let's see.
Wow, blaming the
I'm not a
parents.
slut, though, I swear. No, I'm very modest lady. Okay, so yes, there are the 5 minutes where they're waking up. However, I think the best moments, basically what happens is we do therapy. It kind of, they don't think of it like this, but it really kind of is therapy. I am in bed with them and I'm asking them like really personal questions about like when did you first tell each other you loved each other?
Because you got the questions on this as well, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, I don't have like a run of the mill, my standard ones. Like I don't have like, oh, I'm just going to pull from this Rolodex of questions. But depending on like, it always ends up getting really deep and personal where I'm asking a million questions about their love and like, you know, how they met. And
do you think this is only possible because it's like super early in the morning, people's guards aren't up yet? Do you think like if you ask these same questions later in the day, you probably wouldn't get the answers maybe?
Stresses of life.
You know,
would
people
change
haven't got their shields up.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I think about it. The environment is conducive to love because they're in bed and they're like scantily clothed. So it's kind of like you are just primed to be complimentary of your significant other. You know, so I think you're right. That's I never thought of that, but I think that adds a whole other dimension to it.
You couldn't do this in the evening
unveiled.
as they were going to bed. I don't think you could. I don't think it would be this, you know.
No.
Not after a long
They'd be
day.
tired.
No.
Yeah, and you just be like, fuck off.
They'd be listening to Wayne, you know? Wayne would be serenading us to sleep.
I tell you what, Erin, let's team up on this one. You start the early morning shift and I'll ease them to sleep. Love it in the evening.
I love it.
So funny. Oh my God.
So I'm guessing with that as well, do you have to sign like a disclaimer or some disclosure agreement? Because, you know, the laws in America are very different in terms of gun laws. You don't want to wake somebody up, like freak them the shit out, do you? And they reach for a gun under the pillow and then you become a victim.
It's not all like the movies over there, Wayne. I'm sure. Okay,
you reach under the pillow for a box of popcorn then. There you go. So.
Oh my God. So funny. That's so scary. I know that. Yeah.
I mean, you know, shock factor. I mean, the pure shock factor of, say, somebody's in a deep sleep in the morning, all of a sudden they've had a shock factor awakening. People respond and react differently, don't they? Rather than that
I'm still
dreamy, waking up slowly kind of scenario. I mean, it takes Jake 6 hours to wake up, so he gets out at midday. So it's like...
Well, if he goes to sleep at 6 a.m., you know.
I'm not shooting nobody.
I think because they know that I'm coming, there's been a conversation, there's an understanding. I've never done like, you know, like typed up an agreement for it in advance. It's very, you know, like just man to man, trust to trust. Yeah, it's just like let's just have a talk.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, are you going to turn that series into like a book or a gallery exhibition? I mean, you've always got a double series there, haven't you? Because you've got the people when they're sleeping before they wake up, and then you've got the awakening series as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, ultimately a book. I kind of want to I want to add like a film, like a literal movie component to it, where I'm recording it. Because it's kind of like the whole act. I don't think people would go for this, or maybe some would, but it's such a weird, bizarre thing, and I think people would get a kick out of like how weird it is, like you know, like on a phone being recorded. Do you know what I mean? Because it is really awkward. It's very awkward.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Very documentary, gritty style film. Yeah, it'd be.
Just like the commentary and the conversations are really enlightening after the fact. Like some of those like happy, joyful moments are, you know, that was because we had a really intimate conversation, you know, the three of us.
Okay. I think an exhibition or a book, you know, would be awesome in that. It'd be crazy to have a whole set of works in that coming through. Just open people's eyes for I think a bit of a natural world that none of us really think about that process, you know, or have captured in that respect.
There was a series a few years ago where there was a guy going up into high-rise apartments, and he was going onto the opposite side of the high-rise buildings. I don't know whether it was in New York or not, but people who live, you know, 50 floors up or whatever don't tend to close their curtains, right? So he was able he was able with a really long lens able to get like these super zoomed in bedroom shots, and like legally he was allowed to do it because he was on a public space and that sort of stuff. And these were huge exhibitions of these people in their beds, like totally unbeknownst to them. But they were but they were a glimpse, like a fascinating voyeuristic glimpse into those moments. And it was certainly popular at the time. Yeah, a little bit dodgy.
Wow.
But
Do you remember his name? I feel like I heard about him.
Yeah, I can barely remember my own name, Erin. I'm sorry. Yeah, so no, it's not there with me at the moment.
You got to remember, Erin, it's still morning for Jake in real time. Yeah, even though it's PM.
No, I want to be respectful of your time, and obviously we're getting to the end here, but and this doesn't have to be related to the bed series, but you know, your all of your work is definitely about being there and seeing everything as it happens. You must have at least one particularly funny story you can share with us.
I do. I mean, I definitely have a bunch. The one that I want to tell, I really want to be conscious of how I tell it, because it's kind of a naughty one.
Okay. Well, we won't tell anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your secret's safe with us, Erin. Yeah.
Just between us three, Erin. Go for gold.
And
maybe
all
a couple
my
of listeners out
listens. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll be vague with obviously people, place, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But okay. So
we can cut out whatever. Don't worry.
Right. There are two friends of mine who they're no longer together, but this was like 3 years ago maybe. And they just had like a really spicy romance. Like they were, you know, that couple that's just really fun and whimsical and just like slice of life. Those people where you're like, oh, I really want to know what their day to day is like. That must be really fun, you know?
I remember those days.
Well, anyway, we were all in the woods. There was like a big group of us, and they had a trailer that they were staying in. And I said, you know, I'd be so honored to photograph you both waking up in the morning. That would be really meaningful and memorable for all of us. And they're also like, you know, big into polyamory, and they're very loosey-goosey, free flow, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, and if you started having sex, like I wouldn't be mad about it. I've always wanted to photograph a couple having sex.
Okay.
And so they never, you know, they said, oh, we'll think about it, but nothing was ever set in stone.
Mm-hmm,
And I go to their trailer, and this was also, I was using my Canon AE1. I was just doing film. I was like, you know, I'm just going to push myself today.
Okay.
So I get in there, and it's already warm because it's a fucking trailer. You know, it's like a car that's like so small and, you know, poorly ventilated and all the things. And I, you know, the usual, I'm kind of hyperventilating myself. And they're slowly, you know, waking up, but it's cozy, it's sensual, it's sweet. And they're snuggling, and I'm getting my little Canon AE1 pictures. And then all of a sudden, I notice that the kisses are lasting a little longer. And the breathing is becoming a little more labored. And I'm, in my mind, I'm like,
intensity's building.
Fucking shit. Are they about to have sex? Are they having, and what's so crazy about this is that I had no one next to me to be like, are they fucking? Are they about to fuck? What's going on? Do you think hello? Are you witnessing this? Like there was no one. So I'm just in my head having, like, I am freaking out. Like I don't have enough film for this. Like
true, yeah, of course, yeah,
of course,
you know,
film,
I'm like rapid fire changing my film, and it's like all of a sudden changing my fucking film, and they are like in the act, and I'm like panicking. You know, I'm panicking for every which reason, like the fact that I might not have enough film, the lighting, the fact that there are two friends of mine fully having sex.
I respect it, Erin. You have my respect. You're worried about the lighting. I can respect that.
Yeah. Hold it there, guys. Keep that position. Light.
Chin up.
Please,
chin
give
up.
me light.
Truly. And you guys, so here's the thing, because like I said, like, you know, I can shoot film, but it's not like I'm like you know, I haven't been doing this for 25 years or anything. So I'm really like focused on like making sure that composition, like everything, I'm really in photo brain. I'm not in sex brain, obviously. Like I'm just trying to get an erotic picture that's tasteful. And at one point, my girlfriend says to me, like, and Erin, if you want to put the camera down and join in, she says this to me. And you guys, I need to tell you something. I'm a pretty comfortable woman. Like I am open to a lot of things, but I'm also kind of prude in some ways and skittish about certain things. And when she made this,
we believe you, Erin. Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah, we believe you. Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's like, how do you like decline while you're like on a job, but like also
so professional, Erin. So professional.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I really wanted to keep it profesh. And so I was like, I had to like
So
to, like,
dedicated to the art.
erotically,
I mean, you have to
say
respect
no.
it. Yeah.
Like, you know, she.
I'm
you know,
an
she-
artist, damn it. Leave me work.
Right. And here's the thing, and she's, you know, she's beautiful, and like it's all, you know, beautiful and steamy and all the things. But she says it in this like Marilyn Monroe, like wispy, like, and Erin, like, if, you know, I can't even do it, but like, you know, if you want to put the camera down and join in or something very sly, okay, which is making me panic and like sweat more. And I have to, and then, you know, in improv, it's like, okay, it's all a gift. So what's being offered? Like, respond in kind, and, you know, accept the offer, but you can also accept/decline. It's like when someone offers you, you know, an hors d'oeuvre at a wedding, and you say, "Oh, thank you so much, but no, thank you." You know, it's like that. So I'm like,
not exactly like that, Erin, but yeah, I mean, I can see where you're going with it. Yeah, it's not even remotely like that, but that's cool. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Never looked at a passionate moment as an hors d'oeuvre before. I'll give you that much.
Taking on a whole new meaning, but yeah, that's cool.
It's one thought process I can take forward. Hello, hors d'oeuvre.
I know I had to think about it, but I knew that I wasn't ready. I was too anxious because I was so anxious, you know, of course. And so I like very, you know, as casually as I could was like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm pretty focused on getting the composition.
Wow.
Something like awkward.
Wow.
I was like, but this is amazing. Like, please carry on as if I'm not here.
What a true artist.
And oh my God. And then, you know, like she finishes. So there's this break, right? And we had all had plans to go to yoga class that morning, the three of us.
Okay. I mean, it might be a little bit awkward now, but yeah, no, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm one to speak my mind, you know, so I say, you know, there's a moment where they're laying and they're kind of reveling in just the act and me there and blah, blah. And I was like, I hate to interrupt. At this point, I think I forgot that I had film on me. Like, I think I was still like in shock, like shaking. And I'm like, we'd all talked about going to yoga. Is that still on the table?
You're fucking kidding me. Really? Just like, guys, I'm just checking the time and like, we really need to get going.
It had been so long. In my mind, I'm like, don't men come faster than this? What's happening? And so I was even like, okay, you guys, let's get the day going. Okay, like this is. And so
I've got my writing to do. I haven't been on my walk. I really need to get going.
Jeez.
It's the true test of a relationship, like a woman that really loves her man. Because here's the thing, he was technically left hanging, literally and physically, like, you know, mentally, physically. And I'm like, I don't want to put a stop to this. Right. I was like, I don't want to put a stop to this, but the yoga. And I was like, or if you want to
yoga,
continue,
guys, think of the yoga.
Think of the yoga.
Yeah.
Put that away and think of the yoga.
Wow. Yeah, think of the yoga. And she was really sweet. She was like, I'm gonna hang back. We're gonna carry on. I was like, of course. I'm gonna thank you so much for the privilege.
Oh, it's so British of you. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
This was such a privilege. I hope that he didn't take offense that I left early, but I was already there for so long, and so it was crazy. It was really fun and so crazy. It's crazy.
What an experience.
Yeah.
That was okay. I mean, that was not the story I was expecting, but I mean, thank you. Yeah.
And mate, if there's a last question in a show, I mean, holy shit! I challenge anyone to beat that for a finish, if you want to call it that.
Jesus Christ,
so to speak. You know what I mean, or not?
Oh God,
pure entertainment. And folks, we got a new channel starting up soon where these stories continue. Yeah. Erin will be doing your early morning show, and I'll soothe you all to sleep with the details.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I think that is a perfect round off. I definitely think that's a perfect round off to the show. It's like, but of course, Erin, before we do a segment close on this, we've got to ask you one more question, which we ask everyone, and that is where we ask you to personally recommend 2 creatives from either the photographic or the video world to come onto Podlemania as a guest. And we, of course, ask for you to get in touch with them and do an intro to us so that we don't get arrested for harassment.
Right, of course.
Not that you care about
that. Okay, I have 2.
Yeah, no care about that now. It's gone out the window. Who gives a shit?
So funny. No, that's wise. Okay. I have two dear friends. The first is my friend Teresa Bear. She's an amazing photographer. She sort of specializes in these like really nuts botanical portraits where she builds like these headdresses and she basically builds these whole sets out of flowers essentially. And she, asks these really beautiful spiritual guiding questions and prompts people and just creates these magical universes where people are just like the highest versions of themselves. Like it's like narrative, it's contemplative, it's amazing. And she's just really gifted.
Wow.
So she's one.
That sounds pretty unique.
And then really unique. And I actually met her. She was a teacher at the photo school that I went to. So that's how we met. And she lives in Portland now with her husband and son. And then the other recommendation is my other really dear accomplished friend. Her name is Brooklyn Sherman. And she started something called The Way We Met, where she would interview couples on how they met and feature their stories. And she's just had like a really stacked career of awesomeness and
beautiful.
Yeah, memorializing couples just in a more literal written way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They sound perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing if you could do intros to those guys and they'll be willing to come on as a guest on the show. That'd be amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Erin, before we do round off and close, can we just let our audience know where they can find you on your web and your social media and everything else, please?
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. For my website is just erinpearlman.com and my Instagram is Erin_Pearlman. If you want to check out, we have a bi-monthly improv show. There's a link in the show notes, but it's Fabio Improv. And there's an Instagram tied to it as well.
Okay.
And I think that's all, right? I don't think I'm anywhere else really.
No, keep it. Yeah,
right, that's fine. Yeah. Those links will be in the show notes, folks. So if you want to pop on over and see Erin's work and then go and have a little listen to her improv, they'll be in the show notes as well. So you've got a double benefit there.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Jake, any other questions?
God, no, I can't face it. No more questions. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hot topic for Jake's morning session.
Morning. That's so funny.
Thank you so much, Erin. It's been absolutely fantastic to speak to you. Yeah.
And before we go, folks, remember, if you'd like to help support us to produce and record even more great interviews with some of the world's greatest creative talents and creative minds like we've had today, your support and donations are very much appreciated. And for those that don't know, you can find our donate button on our website at podlemania.com/donate. And remember, every pound or dollar helps keep the lights on at Podlemania Towers. And you can, there's a couple of links over there, one for PayPal and one for buy us a coffee. If me and Jake could get more than one coffee a month, that would be amazing. Keep the fuel burning. And remember, if you like this episode and don't want to miss out on future episodes, then please make sure you subscribe to us on your chosen podcast player. And we're on about 35 of them across the globe. But you can, of course, subscribe to the podcast at podlemania.com/subscribe. Apple Podcasts is our biggest podcast source. So if you'd like to give us a like and leave a comment, it does help us in the rankings. And we'd really appreciate that as well. But you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Store, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, and many, many, many more. And I think we're coming up on Amazon soon as well, Jake. You probably won't know that, but we'll be Amazon Audible as well. It's going through the motions at the moment. But no, thanks for listening to this episode. It's certainly been a very entertaining and fun episode for sure.
It's been great. Yeah, thank you so much, Erin. Yeah,
thank you both so much for having me. I'm so
my
grateful.
Goodness, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
No, Erin, thanks for joining us. A huge thanks to you. And we definitely look forward to getting you back on the show for continuation of some of these stories.
Yeah, we can definitely get you back. Yeah.
And off air, we'll sort out this collaboration of the morning evening show between us. But thanks for listening, folks. And thanks for listening to the episode. And we will catch up with you all in the next episode. From all of us here,
take care, guys.
It's a big goodbye.
Bye.